What's going on, you guys? So in this video, I'm going to talk about real estate agents and why I think they're going to go extinct. And I'm probably the only person on social media who's a real estate agent that's going to say that, yeah, my career and this whole industry is going to collapse. And I think I would bet everything that I think that this industry is going to go through a huge change in no more than 10 years for a number of reasons. So let me give you a brief history of real estate agents, kind of where they came from and where it's going now. So in the late 1800s, they formed together, and then in 1905, the National Association of Realtors was formed. In 1990, the MLS came out, and then in 2004, 2005 is when like the big change happened. 2004, Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, all these websites came out. They wanted to kind of get a piece of that. And what ended up happening was National Association Realtors, the MLS, they're like, no, screw it. We're not going to give you the information. They ended up getting sued. Supreme Court voted that it's better for the consumer for all the information not to be in the hands of just the National Association of Realtors and the MLS. They lost, and then that is when things got interesting. So now people will list their properties on the MLS, and once they do, it gets shot out to Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, LoopNet, all these different websites, right? And now that it's out there, all the consumers, if they're an aggressive buyer, they have all of their information. I'm looking for a 3-bedroom house. I want to be in this neighborhood. They'll get the alert right away. And I've had this happen to me hundreds of times to where I'm looking for a client, can't find the deal, and just because everything is, there's just no inventory. And then boom, I get an email. The client's like, oh, I want to look at this house. I didn't even know it was on the market. And the reason I didn't know is because it's listed 30 seconds later, Zillow has it. 10 seconds after that, my client has it in their inbox. They have the notifications on their phone, and then boom, 20 seconds after that, it's in my inbox. So if I'm not on the MLS immediately, I won't even know it's on the market. So now they have two options. Option one, they can call me. Option two, they can call the listing agent. So how this now works is it puts all the power in the eyes of the consumer. They hold all the power. Whereas before, like that 2004, 2003, 2002 era, the information was held by the agent. So if a consumer, if Sally wanted to go look at a house, Sally would have to go call Mike and say, Mike, can I see homes in this neighborhood? Mike would say, okay, fine. And he would show Sally whatever he wanted to show Sally. It was up to him. So now things really changed. Now things are, Sally owns whatever she's gonna do, which ultimately is better for the consumer. But now there's some new questions that arise. New question is, do real estate agents still command the same amount of value because the information is now being digested from the consumer and they're letting the agent know what property they want to see? They're aware, they're savvy, and they're smart. And they're a lot more knowledgeable today than they've ever been, whereas before the agent was really kind of walking them through every single step and educating them and teaching them. So now there's quite a few big threats that I'm seeing in real estate. The first one is Zillow. Zillow, I'm not talking so much about the iBuyer program, but Zillow always said that they wanted to just be more like an intermediary, an advertiser, someone to help real estate agents be more successful. I don't believe that at all. And I realized that about a year or so ago. And now I just read last night that Zillow's applying for 50 brokerage licenses all across the country to, they're saying they want to do like rentals and referral fees. I don't buy that at all. And the reason I don't buy that is because that would be like Facebook saying, hey, I don't want to be an advertiser. I don't want to be in advertising. I just want to post what Sally had for lunch. I just want to post this funny meme or this little video. All the money for Zillow would be made really in the commissions. Think about that. They're selling a $500, $1,000, $1,500 a month advertising budget to an agent where that agent might be doing 5 or 6 deals a quarter and doing say $70,000 in overall gross commission. Why would they want to take $3,000 or $4,000 when they just lost 65? So with all that said, Zillow controls the information now. The real estate agent is losing more and more power every single day. And Zillow is not just the only threat. There's other threats too. Like Ken Griffin, for example, he's a private equity guy, super smart. He's worth like $13 billion. Just bought a condo in New York for $238 million. Like that's some real money. You're buying a place and it's $250 million. He's partnering up with the founder of Best Buy, one of the high ups at Google, founder of Crate and Barrel, former CEO of McDonald's. All these smart people. They put up $115 million, formed a company called Rex. And Rex is doing more of like a flat fee type of program. But think about how much money is made in this industry if someone can break it. Really think about it. There's 150 million households in America, right? If you could get, say, $3,500 a door and you get 20% market share, it'd be over $100 billion company. And you don't provide any products. All you do is provide a service. So you don't need huge factories. You don't need all the overhead that all these other big companies have. You're simply taking data that consumers provide and supplying it to workers, people that are going to show up, that are going to show you the house, that are going to negotiate the deal. And then on top of that $100 billion, that's not including all of the other opportunities. Like if they wanted to become in property management, or if they wanted to do rentals, if they wanted to charge for, they could charge so many different types of fees and turn that into $150, $200 billion company like that, quick. And that's only 20% market share. So that's a fifth of the size of Apple, and that's only including America. Apple services essentially the world. So there's a lot of money to be made in whoever can break this industry. And I think that this industry is going to be broken. I really do. There's a huge lawsuit coming out right now by a huge law firm, like massive. They just sued Big Tobacco and won for $206 billion. They just sued Hyundai and won $750 million. And so it's them. They're saying that what is happening right now with the National Association of Realtors is that they're price fixing. They're forcing homeowners to pay a commission to a buyer's agent when the homeowner shouldn't have to pay. And so you think about this. If you have a $300,000 house, right, paying a 6% commission, that seller is losing 18 grand right off the spot just to list his home or her home. So that being said, he's saying, why am I paying $9,000 to an agent when really his consumer, the client, is finding the information most likely on her own and reaching out to the agent? All the agent's doing is showing the house. So I'm going to give this person almost $10,000 to write the offer for the buyer. That doesn't make any sense. So that person is suing along with 9 other law firms, and it's a big class action lawsuit right now. They're really trying to fight, and this is against Coldwell Banker, Century 21, Corcoran Group, every brokerage. Every brokerage is essentially being attacked right now for this. So it'll be really, really interesting. I personally see huge change coming to this industry in the next decade, without doubt. You know, me having been in this business so damn long, I know for a fact that there's some agents that are just super smart, a lot of experience, really bright. I would personally pay them, if I had no former experience and training, to represent me, because I know that I'm getting a great value. So I would reach out to them. However, 90% of them really offer little value. All they do is take the information offline and open the door for you and show it. They don't tell you, oh, you could take this position here, you could do that. You could buy this property for this and add X value and you could do this. They're not really kind of opening your eyes to new perspectives and really putting you in a position to make a lot of money. They just want to sell the property. And if you look at it from another perspective, the most successful realtors out there, the reason that they're the most successful is they're doing the most business, right? They're doing the most business. How can they find an incredible deal for every single client if they're representing a buyer? They can't. You really can't. So it'll be interesting. I think that there will be a lot of agents that will survive. But if I had to bet on it, I would say a good chunk of them are going to be gone, without doubt. As commissions continue to decrease, as it becomes more consumer friendly right now, we're going through that transition. So if you're thinking about becoming a real estate agent, you want to be an agent. And the reason you want to be an agent is you love real estate, you love people, you want to help people, and you want to be really successful yourself. You don't want to dive into college loan debt or work at a job where they say you're worth $10 an hour, or $30 an hour, or $50 an hour, when you feel like you're a hell of a lot smarter than that. And this is an industry for you to jump into and make a lot of connections, do a lot of business, help a lot of people, and earn a lot of money. And as a bonus, you get to learn the real estate industry inside and out, become a better investor, and learn a lot. So it's definitely a great industry to be in, but I would look at it from like a 5 to 10 year window at a maximum. I would build out a plan of what I want to save, what I want to invest, what properties I want to own, what my long-term vision is. I wouldn't plan on being a real estate agent for 20 years or 30 years. I would plan on that 5 to 10 year ride and crushing it in probably the first 3 years, and then start buying properties and set myself up. And once I get to a good enough spot, then I can kind of ditch that and move forward and do something else. So think long term. I think this industry is definitely going to see a lot of change. In addition, Keller Williams and Zillow, they're all also offering iBuyer programs. And what that is where a home seller can list their property for sale, sell it directly to them for maybe a 10 or 15% reduction in price, but they deal with no agent, they deal with no hassle, they just sell it cash and they're gone. So that industry, I think, is going to become more towards the consumer too. I think that's going to change a ton. And I think that is probably going to go maybe to 10% or 8% to where people can just list their property for sale and move next week and go on with their life. But there's so many different avenues. There's so many people trying to get into this industry and break that industry. I just did a deal a little while ago and represented a buyer, my friend, and it was like a $750,000 property. I made 18 grand. The other agent was a Purple Bricks agent. She made $1,800, 1,800 bucks. Granted, Purple Bricks went out of business and they left America. But the reality is that that's how things happen. They try, they fail, they refine, they try again, they fail, they refine, they try again, they're successful, then they become more successful, it grows, more competitors come, and the whole industry changes. That's how things happen. So it's happening. Charlie Munger had a really great quote. He is Warren Buffett's partner at Berkshire Hathaway. He said, what makes really successful people is looking forward into the future and seeing the truth, not seeing what they want to be true. So really just looking and seeing things for how they really are. So if you are a real estate agent now, don't be naive and think, no, everything's going to be like this forever, because nothing ever is. No industry ever is. Look at Blockbuster Video being replaced by Netflix. It's just everything always changes. Everything always changes. It used to be the beeper. Now it's the smartphone. I mean, I have an iPhone 11X with incredible quality. And this type of quality on a camera 2 years ago would have probably cost me $5 grand or $6 grand. So things just continue to progress, and that's what's going to happen to the real estate industry. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much.